Welcome to Portugal for the final round of the 2019 European Le Mans Series. Both LMP2 and LMP3 titles are still up for grabs in this final showdown, which promises a breathtaking 4-hour race. So who better than a Portuguese ace to take us on this rollercoaster ride of a circuit?
Olá, bem-vindos a Portimão. My name is Philippe Albuquerque. I'm driving the United Auto Sports car number 22, and I'm going to show you my favorite 3 spots around the track. Come over. Spot number 1. So this is T6, an important corner around Portimão. So you come from the inside straight line, you brake, and it's downhill and bumpy, so it's hard to hit the brakes at the right point. So because then you come from 5th to 1st gear, and afterwards it's uphill, which is make it really important to make the exit. And it's an overtaking maneuver as well. So this makes one of the key points of the Portimão track. Spot number 2. This is the spot. So we go up, down, flat left, up in 5th gear into the blind T12 corner, which you don't know where you're going, left, right, middle, because it's so wide. So when you get there, it's already too late because the corner goes to the right, and it's a 2nd gear corner, but definitely one of the most trickiest corners around Portimão. Spot number 3. So we are in the last corner of Portimão, the fastest corner of the racetrack, and quite a unique corner in the world. So you come from down there and you come up to 5th gear, then you come flat out and you don't see anything. You know that here the car going to be very light because it's up a little bit, and then when you come up here, the car, you have no control about it. You let the car go down and hope for the compression to hit the grip to make the corner to go right. And by then you are at 260 kilometers per hour, and it's a flat out corner, and it's super important because you have a long straight up there. But you have any failures, well, you can see the marks on there, can you? So this was a lap in Portimão, and we won last year here. We won the last race in Spa. Let's hope that the Car 22 wins again in my home country. I hope that we enjoyed as much as I did.
In the top class of the European Le Mans Series, we have a 3-way showdown. G-Drive Racing, the reigning champions, have a 13-point advantage over the number 28 car from IDEC Sport. They're 25 points ahead of the lead Graf entry.
Yeah!
It's going to be complicated because the gap between the Michelin tyres and the Dunlops has become huge. In the last few races, we've suffered a lot. We couldn't even get onto the podium. But we're going to try and do our job as well as we can, get onto the podium, and that will hopefully give us the championship. Well, it's the most experienced team, and they've probably got the best driver lineup, so they do have a real advantage. So we're not the masters of our own destinies, they are. I think the pressure may be on them, though. They're the reigning champions. We've got nothing to lose, so we'll just run our own race, give it everything, and see what happens in the end. Mathematically, it's still possible for us, but honestly, we need G-Drive to have a huge problem. But we will be pushing hard to try and win. That to be the best way to finish the season and to maximise our chances.
IDEC still can lose their 2nd place. They want to keep that. Graf, they don't want to lose their 3rd place. So everybody is like, oh, we still need to finish. In the end, it will be the same for everyone. We treat this as a separate race, and we just need to do the best possible result, and then the championship should be there.
They're leading the championship, so they cannot go up. They can just go down. We will do the best we can do to give them a fight. It's racing, anything can happen.
Well, I agree. Really, they've got nothing to lose. They're 13 points behind us, so IDEC can really push hard to try and take the title. For Graf, it's going to be really, really tricky. So are we under pressure? Well, yes and no. The pressure is always there in motorsport, but we come here in a good position in the championship, and to be honest, I prefer to be leading than anything else. So really not feeling any pressure.
Portimão last year after 2 seasons in P3. Probably one of my best experiences in motor racing. Rammstein, America. Long time ago, probably around 14 years old. Pretty much after the first beer, probably. With who? Can't remember. Porsche 911 GT3. It was in 1994. During my private pilot license, probably one of my best experiences in my life. Monza, first season in ELMS. I was out of the times of the minimum standard time. He explained me that I had to behave very well on track to let me drive. Silverstone this year, I realized that it's a dangerous sport that we are dealing with. We are probably all drugged about this, addicted. It's hard to find back the confidence after a crash like this. Probably today. That was the bronze test. It was really good. After what happened in Silverstone, it was really good to come back like this and being back in the rhythm where I have to be. Happiness. June 2020, and really looking forward.
Lucic Racing has already claimed the GTE titles, but the battle will still rage in the class as 4 crews strive for the runner-up spot in the Teams Championship that will give them a crucial Le Mans entry for 2020.
It's a really beautiful circuit. I really like it. First of all, it's nice to come here. It's nice weather, but also the up and down, the layout of the circuit is great. We are here to win a race, and for sure we look also on the championship. But the goal is to win the race here.
Coming into the ELMS the first year as our female lineup to finish second place could be really something amazing for us to show what female drivers are able to do. And of course getting the entry once again for Le Mans. We did Le Mans this year. To do it next year could be once again a dream. So of course that's also the aim. It's going to be very tight for all of us, and we're going to fight for it until the absolutely last lap.
Second place still has a Le Mans entry, which is super valuable. All of the teams want it. We want it very badly, so still a lot to play for. I think it'll be quite exciting, and the cars we've had really good variability from second until fourth, really, all the races. So it'll be a very good fight. So we like our chances for success, but you never know with the other people. I think it'll be a very good race.
In LMP3, the number 11 Euro International duo and the number 13 crew from Inter Europol are dead equal on points, setting up a thrilling finale after a furious season of battling.
It started wrong, and Paul Ricard was our cars having been seized. We had a rental car.
We struggled a little bit to get the car how we wanted, so it was a podium and we were very happy with it.
Hectic one for the team, but still we managed to get 18 points from a second place.
We had to start from back of the grid, but we won.
Yeah, Temple of Speed, high speed, was again very close.
We had a DNF. We retired from the lead actually, and by then we had to recover the lost point in the championship.
The win for us, so I think we did everything correct.
First of all, I really loved that race because I stayed on slicks in the wet conditions, which was the highlight of the year, I would say. It was good to get the win there to catch up the points in the championship. Important race. We were lucky they had a puncture. Another win, so 2 in a row.
Last round they did really well. We suffered with some punctures which didn't help. We had two tyres go.
Last race, equal on points is, I think, the maximum tension you can have in such a series.
They have been super consistent.
They have been quite fast all the time, all the year.
Here's going to be a tough one.
Now it gets super exciting. Same point, so the best is gonna win it.
We want to grab the championship.
So you know the car is on, obviously, but ignition is off, so just before you go.
Our goal for the weekend actually is to finish right behind the leaders in the ranking. Unfortunately, the championship was over a little bit too early from my point of view, but you know that's racing. It's part of the game. We need to accept it. But as we can see, I mean, we are starting from pole. We have a good car for the race. We should be competitive in a long distance. So I think we should, you know, stay out of trouble first of all, make our race as smooth as possible, and then. I'm pretty confident we can achieve a good result today.
This is the third pole position for the team, but so far, no podiums. What can you do to rectify that today?
I'm going to give my absolute best and try to make a gap and see how Laurent goes in the car, and normally we should aim for a podium today.
And this is a beautiful circuit to be racing at, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing track. It's a roller coaster. It's so fun to drive here. It's going to be a difficult race as the tire degradation is quite excessive on this track, but otherwise it's really fun to drive here.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The final race of the season, you're starting from pole position. Can you do it today?
I hope so, but again, like endurance racing, it's like speed is important, but it's so much more important the consistency and out of problems, and strategy is a huge role. If you can stop under full cost shell or a safety car, that will play a big role, and the competition is as well very competitive, so it's very high. So it's hard to say, but obviously we have all the things that we need to go for a win. Phil is doing a great job, and he's really happy with the car balance. We are happy with the car balance for the race, so fingers crossed, really.
You can start the engine 3 in between. 1 minute go.
Hey Robin, so remember we need to generate brake temp.
Phil Hansen in the red, white and blue United Autosports Oreca pacing the field. Alongside him is James Allen in the 21 Dragon Speed car. LMP3 pole, Lucas Leggere starts the 19 M Racing Norma at the front of the field. And in GTE, Christian Ried starts the 77 Dempsey Proton Porsche. We are ready to go racing on the roller coaster of Portimão. 4 hours to wind up the season and decide the titles as we get set to go green here for the final race of the 2019 European Le Mans Series. They roll to the lights. Everybody should be following down through the grid markings. Away we go.
Start to the 4 Hours of Portimão.
Voice of race director and birthday boy Eduardo Freitas as Phil Hansen leads James Allen, losing out on the inside from row 2. Rennie Binder in the red, white and blue Panis Barthez car. A few running wide out of turn 1 and maybe picking up a place or two. Up into third has gone Ryan Cullen. That's the second of the United cars ahead of Rennie Binder. And he's got the cool racing car of Antony Borger, who has jumped ahead of Paul Lafargue in the red and white car from IDEC Sport. Oh, and Trumpet immediately off in the gravel. That's the 66 JMW Ferrari of Wei Lu. We'll take a look again at the start. Everybody fanning out. It wasn't a bad start at all, pretty clean, but so many cars funneling down into the first corner. All safely through there. Climbing the hill on board with Christian Ried in the Dempsey Proton Porsche. Smoke and a spinning car in front. He can't avoid it. Contact. And Wei Lu and an Inter-Europol car also made contact, or maybe the Oregon car on board with Wei Lu. Take a look again. Oh! Well, he basically goes off in avoidance, but almost hit Christian Ried. Well, they all get safely down through turn 1. Drama comes when they start to accelerate and climb up the hill out of turn 3. So look at the curb on the inside under the bridge. Now Jack Manchester gets a little bit too much curb on the inside right there. Car starts to break away and spins in the middle of the pack. And unsighted Christian England can't avoid contact. Then Christian Ried in the Dempsey Proton car as well. And there's 2 or 3 more involved in that big accident. So watch again, the spin there on the top right of your picture. And it's incredible that only 2 cars actually hit the stationary debris. But it was a big crash for Jack Manchester.
Red flag, red flag. We are on the red flag.
Now cars will come back to the grid, and indeed they are forming up in line astern. They'll turn the motors off and wait for further instructions. Manuela Gosner in the Iron Dames Kessel Racing Ferrari, damage on their left front corner. She's going to head back to the pits and hope to continue in the race as the marshals get to work. 77 Dempsey Proton cars, 66 Porsche in there as well. Oh, that is a lot of damage. 88 Dempsey Proton car, 77 Dempsey Proton, both involved. And there are the drivers, Christian Ried on the left and Stefan Gurig on the right. They're okay. Damiano Fioravanti for Oregon. And Wei Lu in the JMW car. Well, there is Rahel Frey, praying that the car will be able to continue. Manuel Gosner not looking that positive. There's the Oregon car. And Wei Lu's 66 JMW Ferrari. Well, the United Autosport team also losing a car because it was the number 3 of Christian England that hit the stationary Jack Manchester. And all thoughts are with the injured drivers. Everybody else out of their car in the shade. Roman Rusinov trying to cool down a little. And lots of clean-up work for the hard-fought marshals. Well, the JMW Ferrari back in the pit lane, but back into the garage. This is the team of Paul Lafargue saying you're not allowed to change the tyres. They're going to be very, very cold. Be really careful on the curves when you're warming them up. Do not swerve. You've got to generate heat with your brakes. Yes, Mum. Well, disappointment at Kessel Racing. 83 will not restart. They are out of the race and out of the championship. Gutted Michel Gatting. They were hoping to finish runners-up and get a Le Mans wildcard entry.
Race has been resumed behind the safety car. We are under safety car procedure.
So the field will head off in line astern in the positions in which they got back to the grid. So not the original grid order, but the race order when the race was red flagged before the end of lap 1. So the positions you made up or lost remain made up or lost. But the safety car will give them a chance to build some heat in those tyres. Mikkel Jensen in the Euro International car coming into the pit lane. Now they may be doing a driver change now. We're almost an hour into the race. So Jens Pedersen will take over. That's not bad thinking. Building up to speed, we are going green.
We are back to racing. No overtaking before the line. No overtaking before the line, gentlemen.
Phil Hansen leads from James Allen, Ryan Cullen. Anders Fjordbach sticks his nose out behind Roman Rusinov. Behind, Matthias Besch goes by James French. In the Algarve Pro Car, Matthias Besch for Inter Europol. And James Allen chasing in second place, but running away. Philip Hansen, Ryan Cullen in third. And there is Roman Rusinov, Anders Fjordbach behind him with the yellow highlights. And Alexandre Cugnot in the number 39 Graf Racing car. So lots of jockeying for position down the straight. Cugnot with Konstantin Tereshchenko. The Panis Barthez car dives to the inside. Little loose over the bumps on the inside. Oh, trouble. That's down at turn 1. Wei Lu has gone off for JMW. Back in the gravel. So Duncan Cameron in the green and white car. Wei Lu has a lunge down the inside, contact. Right, it is a quick run down into turn 2. And Wei Lu back off in the gravel.
We're going for safety car. We are going for safety car.
That means the pit lane exit is closed and there is now a queue. 2 Panis Barthez cars, 25 Algarve Pro Dragon Speeder in there, into Europol. A whole bunch of them waiting while the safety car queue goes by. The JMW Ferrari being towed out onto terra firma. Should hopefully make it back to the pits. Didn't look like too much damage for the Chinese-Canadian. Wei Lu is in. Left front puncture, but is the car raceable?
Track is back to green. We're back to racing speeds. No overtaking before the line in front of race control.
Flash of the headlights there from Roman Rusinov. He's got the IDEX Sport car in front of him. This the battle for third. United Autosports 1-2 at the moment. But still, 2 hours, 35 minutes to go. A lot of racing left. Phil Hansen sharing with Felipe Albuquerque. The Portuguese driver loves this track. Mind you, he loves most tracks. Phil Hansen doing a great job. The car on pole and now running away. Into our GTE battle. This is the lead squabble. Sergio Pianezzola for Kessel Racing. Won the championship in the Michelin Le Mans Cup in GT3 yesterday. Now leading here from Fabien Laverne. Lucic Racing had a shocking time in the Michelin Le Mans Cup. They came in looking for the championship and had a horror story. We'll take a look again here. The Lucic car under pressure from behind. Bruno Senna racing for RLR M Sport and heading into the garage with, it looks like, a right rear puncture. The car back in the pit lane. Maybe it's broken suspension. High Class Racing's Anders Fjordbach with the yellow highlights, battling with Antony Borger for 5th down the straight. Borger for Cool Racing moves up a spot. Borger most impressive in European Le Mans this year and now in the World Endurance Championship with Cool Racing. A week from now they will be heading to the next World Endurance round in Shanghai in China. That's quite the different track from this one. Roman Rusinov right in front as Borger now closes down on 4th place. And Antony Borger, the Swiss, his confidence is growing in leaps and bounds. IDEX Sport, G-Drive and Cool Racing. 3rd, 4th and 5th, nose to tail. And Rusinov right up behind the IDEX Sport car. And Cool Racing Antony Borger trying to get alongside. Rusinov makes contact down the hill. And they go by the JMW car. Rusinov now up to 3rd spot. And the IDEC Sport car down to 5th. But here comes the cool racing car of Antony Borger, plunging down the hill into turn 16. Finds a slower car in front. Otherwise, he would have made that pass stick. Now he's going to go across the plateau and plunge down past the pit lane into turn 1 on the inside line, up to 3rd place. What a great stint from Cool Racing's Antony Borger. Roman Rusinov in 4th place for G-Drive. Into the pit lane though comes Ryan Cullen out of 2nd place. Mimo Rojas getting ready to take over the IDEC Sport car. Esteban Garcia and Jakub Śmikowski coming into contact there. Śmikowski just losing control and running into Garcia in the Real Team Racing machine. Race leader in. Philip Hansen stops and continues in the car. Paul Lafargue then becomes the race leader, at least until he gets into the pit lane and heads to IDEC Sport. So Antony Borger staying out, and he is leading now for Cool Racing, with Alexandre Coigny recovered from his big accident at Silverstone. Mimo Rojas takes over the IDEC Sport car, number 28. Job van Uitert will leap in for Roman Rusinov. And off is 34, Jakub Śmikowski, and that's got to be a legacy of that contact, surely. Or maybe it was cause and effect, maybe he had a problem first. Jean-Baptiste Lahaye hanging on to 2nd place ahead of Wayne Boyd and Christian Olsen. Olsen in the RLR M Sport car, orange, black and white, number 15, chasing down Wayne Boyd, the number 2 United car. And Jean-Baptiste Lahaye for Ultimate now in 2nd place. Alexandre Coigny taking over at Cool Racing. And here is the battle with Job van Uitert and G-Drive hanging on ahead of Will Owen in the United Autosports 32 car. Owen gets the cutback from turn 1 to 2, and he's by into turn 3. So van Uitert now will have to give chase. And just look at the view from on board here. So much of your view around the track is just track and sky. Jonathan Hershey in the pits for Graf. And there is the number 24 car of Konstantin Tereshchenko, currently leading for Panis Bartes. Will Owen and Jonathan Hershey now. Will Owen charging up through the field. Into Europol car comes out in front.
32 must give the position back to car 39. Overtaking for a position beyond track limits is totally unacceptable.
Well, he almost had nowhere to go there because the Inter-Europol car was in the way, but he'll have to give the place back. René Binder into the pits from 3rd. This is a topsy-turvy race. Different pit strategies, very different pit strategies, changing the order, but Phil Hansen has done 1 stop, stayed in the car and is back in front. And sometimes sticking to plan A, no matter what carnage goes on around you, is not a bad idea. David Perel at Kessel Racing, Nicolas Nielsen just leaving for Lusic. That's the battle between those 2 Ferraris. And Perel now on his way as well. And he's taken over from this man, Sergio Pianezzola. Hot work. Oh, and trouble. Alex Coigny and the RLR M Sport car of Martin Rich are both off. And there is Coigny's teammate watching. Well, you don't see what happened behind the brow. Looks as though Martin Rich may have made a move from behind. The Cool Racing car stuck in the gravel though. And Francois Heriot has gone off as well. Looks like that's all on his own in the Ultimate number 17 car. Yes, it was.
3, 2, 1. Full course yellow, gentlemen. We are under full course yellow. I'm snatching a car between T10 and T11 on driver's right.
Another slew of pit stops. Felipe Albuquerque in at United. Job van Uitert making a stop and staying in the G-Drive car. Busy pit lane. LMP3 leader at the moment is Nielsen Racing's Tony Wells. They claimed their 5th podium in 6 races in the Michelin Le Mans Cup the previous afternoon. Tony Wells and Colin Noble battling there with the Spirit of Race Ferrari. Job van Uyter on the charge. Take a look at this. This is how he bumped his way by Will Owen. That was for 5th position. And now Van Uyter right up behind Anders Fjordbach, the yellow and red car. Now, car in front is the IDEC number 27 car. That's been lapped, but look at Van Uyter trying to make room for himself. Still trying to make room, leaning on the Dane. Can't get through. Yes, he does. They'll go by the Lusic Racing Ferrari, and they all get a tow off the IDEC Sport car. And here comes Will Owen down the inside. So through comfortably goes Van Uyter, but Will Owen also picks up a place. So Van Uyter up to 4th place. Now Will Owen in 5th. And Anders Fjordbach down to 6th position. Started the last lap in 4th. Starts this one in 5th. And halfway round he's back down to 6th. Fjordbach looking for a way back by Will Owen. Not sure that's going to happen for him though. United Autosports, the race leaders with 22. IDEX 28 in 2nd place. And Timothy Beret 3rd for Panis Barthez ahead of this squabbling trio. Well, there's Memo Rojas and the Panis Barthez car. There's the M Racing car in LMP3, but these two, that's our 2nd place battle. So Timothy Beret for Panis Barthez closing down at Memo Rojas in the red and white IDEC Sport car number 28. Lots of racing still to go, still 90 minutes to go, and some very different strategies going on because of the red and yellow flags. On-board replay, and this going inside the RLR M Sport car is how Memo Rojas sneaked by Timothy Beret in the end, had to lean a little to make the room. 2nd place battle in GTE, Kessel Racing's number 60 Ferrari David Pirel, all over Fabio Babini in the Porsche. Well, Heavy Motors haven't had much of a season with a Porsche. The Ferraris have really been strong everywhere, and again it proves David Pirel goes by Fabio Babini up to 2nd. Timothy Beret under pressure now for a podium spot from Job van Uyter. And 80 minutes of the race remain. And the further he gets up the field, the harder the passes are going to be for Van Uyter. That's why these cars are at the front. LMP3 car in front. Here's an opportunity. Oh, and Van Uyter takes no prisoners there, does he? Straight up the inside. Through he goes. Well, fantastic pass for 3rd position, and he got by the P3 car as well. Timothy Beret right in front of us, and Van Uyter just goes straight up the inside. There's David Thompson, boss of Nielsen Racing, and his man Tony Wells under real pressure now for the lead in LMP3 from Nigel Moore, fellow Brit. The Inter-Europol competition driver goes around the outside. That's big move. That is a big move by Nigel Moore. Felt confident in the grip level there. And through he goes to take the lead. Job van Uyter clearly comfortable in his grip level. Look at this, all over the back of Memo Rojas, the Mexican for IDEC Sport, hanging on to 2nd place right now. But Van Uyter again on the inside, overcooks it this time. That's one too many, surely.
We see the contact memo.
And so will the stewards. I'm afraid this is one lunge too many.
Drive-through penalty, car 26 for colliding with car 28 at T4.
And that's Richard Bradley. He is off the Duquesne car, heavily into the Barris. Wow, look at that. And that has got to be a brake failure or a puncture. Well, Richard Bradley walks away, but the car is buried, and there's still an hour to go. Not for Duquesne's number 30 car.
We are under safety car. Leader to safety car speed, leader to safety car speed. All cars to catch up with the leader. The incident is at T1.
Well, the Dragon Speed car moved up to 10th there just in time, and will close up on the rest of the field as the safety car brings them all together. And close to 1 hour of racing left. Job van Uyter is done, and he hands over to Jean-Eric Verne. That's not a bad substitution in anybody's book. Paul-Luc Chatin will finish the race for IDEC Sport. 28 is in as well. The safety car may well bring a slew of pit stops. There's the remnants of the Duquesne car heading back around the service road. In comes David Perel heading to Kessel Racing from second in GTE. What might have been for their teammates. LMP3 leader also in. This is Tommy Erdos, the Brazilian, returning to the fray this year with United Autosports. GTE leader Alessandro Pierre Guidi taking over from Niklas Nielsen at Lusic.
Safety car is in the pits. Track is green. No overtaking before they cross the line.
Battle on again between Nigel Moore and Tony Wells. Tony Wells now in third for Nielsen. Nigel Moore in fourth for Inter Europol. He's going to have to do it all again. Gets a really good run out of turn one. Just there in turn two. And through he goes into turn three. So he moves up to third. And LMP2 cars swamping the P3 battle. Jean-Eric Verne serving the drive-through earned by Joop van Uytert. The safety car came out almost immediately. That penalty was handed out, so they couldn't do it then. He has to do it now when everybody's up at full racing speed. So he comes out on an empty track, but a long way down. 7th place now, drops to 8th behind the Algarve Pro car. So Jean-Eric Verne behind Andrea Pizzitola in the number 25 machine. 42 minutes remain, and as of now, number 28 IDEC Sport car that's in second place will be the champion by a point from G-Drive. But these guys can only go up one more place. Jean-Eric Verne could go up half a dozen, who knows, before the end of the race. Paul-Luc Chatin dive bombs Philip Hansen. That is a change for the lead. 28 IDEC Sport car around the outside, still around the outside, and hangs on. So Paul-Luc Chatin leads for IDEC Sport. They are trying to win the championship.
Good job, Paul-Luc. P1, 34 minutes to run. Chatin is now in the lead. We need P3 to take the championship.
Well, there's the deal for Jean-Eric Verne. 30 minutes to go, a little under. He's in 6th, he needs to be 3rd. Alex Brundle dives inside Tristan Gomindy. Brundle taking 3rd place in the 32 United car. GT battle, Porsche versus Ferrari. Whoa, Anders Fjordbach. Goodness me, that was really close. Just got by the Spirit of Race Ferrari. That could have been a big, big shunt. Into the pit lane, Konstantin Tereshchenko for Paris Barthez. Jean-Eric Verne flashing the headlights, and Andrea Pizzitola, not because it's getting dark, although the sun is starting to lose its effect. But Jev now chasing 5th position, the Algarve Pro car. 6th place now, needs 3rd. If IDEC remain in the lead, don't forget, if IDEC lose the lead back to United, then all bets are off. 39 is in the pit lane. Fuel for Tristan Gomindy. All these different pit strategies that flip-flop through the race with the safety cars, the red flag, the full course yellows. That might all make things change, and that moves Jean-Eric Verne up one.
Box for fuel. Box for fuel.
But that is going to move him back down the order. Jean-Eric Verne will have to fuel for G-Drive. Now, who in front still needs fuel? 22 has stopped Philip Hansen from 2nd place. 25 Algarve Pro now the leader. Jev fuels as well. Wow, this is going to be real tenterhooks. Will G-Drive win again? Can IDEC Sport claim it? Here's our leader in LMP3, 360 Racing. That's Terence Woodward doing the final stint. Alessandro Pierre Guidi leading for Lusic Racing. They are already the GTE champions in ELMS, heading for another win, but IDEC Sport feeling the pressure. Paul-Luc Chatin leading the race, leading the championship. IDEC Sport, as of now, will win by 4 points from G-Drive, with Graf United and Dragon Speed the remainder of the top 5. Duquesne cannot score, of course. Their car crashed out with that brake failure, it seems. So G-Drive, it looks as though their run of title successes is coming to an end. And it may just be that penalty that decides it. Oh! Now this time, Matt Griffin in the Spirit of Race Ferrari, not so lucky. He does get hit. That was the 80 Ebby Motors Porsche he was battling earlier when Anders Fjordbach found a way through, and that's contact with the Panis Barthez 23 car. Jean-Eric Van trying to get by, and does so. Heart in mouth moments for everybody. Look at IDEC. There's barely anybody breathing. Paul-Luc Chatin heads once more onto the pit straight and into the final minute of the season. What are we seeing here? Oh, no, 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 don't do that! Goodness me. Final lap of the race, final lap of the 2019 European Le Mans Series. Paul-Luc Chatin has the lead, and IDEC Sport will have the title. There's Jean-Eric Venn trying to carve his way through traffic. He never, ever gives up, but it is all too late. G-Drive will not come out on top. In the IDEC Sport garage, they are starting to believe they're seconds away from the title. There's team boss Nick Minassian. He must have aged a decade. The checkered flag is almost in sight. You're a monster, you're the champion, you're a monster. They are the race winners. They are the champions.
Yeah, we did it. Guys, you are unbelievable. You're unbelievable. I love you guys. Thanks Paul, thanks Nemo. You are the best teammate I ever had. I love you guys.
Jubilation for IDEC, disappointment for Roman Rusinov. After 3 titles in a row, G-Drive have been defeated. For the first ELMS title for IDEC, paying back for the effort when they had to build a new car overnight in Spa to make the race. Another of the foundations of this title glory. In GTE, another victory, 4 out of 6 for new champions at Lusic Racing with the 51 Ferrari. Well, they are very accustomed to winning in ELMS and Michelin Le Mans Cup, but this is a first for 360 Racing as Terence Woodward takes the checkered flag. It's the first win of the season for the team. Terence Woodward, James Dayson and Ross Kaiser ending their season on a high. And in the title battle, it is second place, another podium for Nigel Moore and Martin Hipper, the number 13 Inter Europol competition crew. And that is just enough to break the deadlock in their favour. They are the LMP3 champions. The tiny, ambitious team from Poland has grown from 6 to nearly 30 members, and they have claimed their first major international scalp. As Paul-Luc Chatin heads back to Parc Fermé, his IDEC Sport teammates are already trying to take it in.
I can't believe it. We knew we were coming to this race with not an easy job to do. We knew we had to win the race, and we worked hard to do it. We won the race, but we also needed luck. We had our share of bad luck in a few races this year, but today everything went our way. We deserve this win. IDEC Sport, they did an amazing job all year, and today they were flawless. Thanks guys, thanks to all my teammates and my team.
It's a second ELMS title for the Mexican driver. He was a winner 2 years ago as part of the G-Drive lineup, and now with IDEC Sport and 2 new teammates. Victory once more. Celebration looks like it will continue long into the Algarve evening at IDEC Sport. From pole to second, United Autosports came close. Graf completing the podium, but G-Drive's sixth position was not enough. 361 in LMP3 into Europol, doing enough with second place to clinch the title as Lusic won the race and had already won the championship in GTE. Despite not finishing, the 77 Dempsey Proton car actually ends up in second in the championship to grab that Le Mans entry.
Just a real champion.
A fantastic result, guys.
Yeah, it's amazing, thanks to Patrice, to Paul, to Memo, all the E-Tech racing team, it's a family team and we show that we beat the best this year, I think the best in LMP2 is J-Drive right now and we beat them, so it's just unbelievable for us and thanks to all our guys, Memo, Paul, I love them, it's incredible for us.
Paul Chatin, Paul Lafargue, Memo Rojas, E-Tech Sport, the champions. And the race winners from Phil Hansen and Felipe Albuquerque, Tristan Gobry, Alex Cuno and Jonathan Hershey finishing in third for Graf. And confirmation of that title win for E-Tech Sport by 4 points over G-Drive. Graf third with car number 39 and United Autosports 22 car comes up to fourth with a strong end to the season. The 51 Lusic Racing Ferrari has been the dominant force in GTE all season and they won again in Portugal.
It's been honestly a fantastic season and I just want to say thanks to all the guys from the team, Fabian and Ale as well for a mega job throughout this season. Of course to our fantastic team of mechanics and engineers and so on. So I think it's a good combination of a strong lineup and a strong team and a strong car behind. So a massive thanks to all of them.
Nicholas Nielsen, Alessandro Pierguidi and Fabien Laverne for Lusic claiming victory from Sergio Pianezzola, Andrea Piccini and David Perel with Fabio Babini, Marco Frezza and Gianluca Girodi in third for Ebby Motors. So Lusic and Dempsey Proton gain the places for Le Mans. JMW just miss out, as do the all-female Kessel Racing crew. It was a huge win in LMP3 for 360 Racing.
I didn't really know it at the time. I thought it might be third or fourth. It was a real difficult race, up and down. You couldn't really work out who was in the lead. It was probably a good job they didn't tell me. And then just delighted to hear we'd won it.
A huge shock after the race though. Runners-up into Europol with Martin Hipper and Nigel Moore didn't respect the mandatory drive time for their drivers. A penalty cost them the title. It goes instead to Euro International's number 11 crew.
It was a super difficult race. We did everything we could do wrong. But first of all, the red flag destroyed our strategy. And since that, we were one lap behind and had to play a tricky strategy and try to just risk something to get back. And we didn't manage. With 1.5 hours left, we knew that they had to put Martin in the car again, but didn't tell anyone, because obviously then it would put attention on them to change their decision. So we knew it pretty much all the way, just had to be sure with the regulation that it was right.
Yeah, we got it! Yeah!
So for now, Euro International are champions, but Inter Europol have appealed the steward's decision, so the classification remains provisional. Ultimate finish in third no matter what happens.
Yo, check this out.
First choice is the duel between Antony Borger and Roman Rusinov. Talk about bravery here as the Swiss puts the moves on the outside in the final corner at 260 kilometers an hour. Gets tripped over by the back marker, but then slipstreams down the straight and dive bombs Rusinov into turn one. LMP3 battles this time. Nigel Moore in the yellow and green into Europol car racing for the title, so no time to lose behind Tony Wells. He puts the British driver under pressure in turn 1 and 2, then outbrakes the Nielsen car into turn 3. Cleanly done. You need bravery in spades at Portimão, and Paul Chatin dives to the inside of Phil Hansen at the hairpin to take the lead. Hansen comes back at him in the United car, but the Frenchman is having none of it and streaks away. Made your choice? Head to the ELMS Facebook page and vote.
What a race and what a season. It's party time now for the ELMS family here at the 2019 awards ceremony. But rest assured, we'll be back doing it all over again next year. So join us in Barcelona at the beginning of April for the 2020 European Le Mans Series.
Celebrate the 2019 season. Have a great time.
Winners, your team's champions, Lutzik Racing, and the LMP3 trophies. We don't actually know who is going to be the champion. We've got to give a huge round of applause to our winners, IDEC Sport. Congratulations, the checkered flag has fallen on this awards ceremony. Thank you all very much.
The 2020 European Le Mans Series kicks off with a test in Barcelona, followed by round one. Then we head to Monza, Le Castellet and Silverstone in September, with the World Endurance Championship before Spa and the finale back in Portimão at the end of October.